Good morning, folks. So I want to tell you a bit of a story today about where I see the sales industry as it stands today, where I see it going, and in preparation for a leadership roundtable discussion that I'm leading on Thursday, I wanted to share some thoughts with you as I prepared for that. So, whether you're running a business or leading sales, marketing, customer success, or any other function within your business, I'm a big advocate for the fact that relationships count for everything. And the only way you can build a relationship is by having a conversation with somebody, at least in the beginning. And conversations lead to meaningful relationships in the long run. Relationships that will essentially drive the growth of business tomorrow. Dr. Dale Childs, also a fellow of the Institute of Sales Professionals, like myself, shared some interesting research on LinkedIn recently. According to the World Economic Forum, 27% of the global workforce will be Gen Z within the next 2 years. And 89% of them in sales will suffer burnout. Now today, according to the Sales Health Alliance, who has done a considerable amount of research in relation to stress and mental health across salespeople, found that in 2022, 79% of salespeople were suffering with high levels of stress. 63% suffering with poor mental health. 60% sales leadership suffering with poor mental health, which is up from 40% in 2021. We're experiencing a crisis in B2B sales, whether you choose to accept that or not. It's a fact. Winning by Design found that pipeline rates had plummeted and close rates had fallen almost 50% in the last 2 years. And that's across the full spectrum from SMB to enterprise size deals. So, don't be fooled that when the economy bounces back, so too will buyer confidence. Why is that, you might ask? Well, buyer behavior has been changing for the last 15 years. Before the pandemic, buyer and seller trust had all but evaporated. According to TrustRadius, buyers no longer trust vendor website or blog insight information. Insight-based sales and marketing messaging no longer cuts through the noise. These awareness and nurturing programs are quite literally falling flat on their face. Dr. Julian Birkinshaw, a professor at London Business School, said back in 2014, as our world is filled with easily accessible knowledge, competitive advantage is no longer about insight. When we all look and sound the same because we have access to the same knowledge, the only differentiating factor is you, the human being, with shared values and beliefs. Authenticity becomes the differentiating factor today. Now, when Dr. Julian presented these findings back in 2014, he didn't know whether it would be a reality in 2 years or 20 years. And we're 9 years on. I think it is the reality today. Matt Dixon and Ted McKenna's new book, The Jolt Effect, analysed over 2 million sales conversations and found that personal brand is vital for today's seller. It is harder than ever to create conversations with our target audience. Why? Well, it's quite simple for me, because we're using outdated techniques. You think it's hard today, wait until you try forcing Gen Zs to work the old school way. we are in a crisis. We are seeing a convergence of a mental health endemic in sales, a Gen Z sales force that won't be forced to work in ways they don't believe is right, either for them or their customer. We know cold calling and cold emailing is the number 1 and number 3 reason, respectively, why buyers will not buy from sellers or vendors. And number 3, we're in a world where we look the same, we look and sound the same, and I was saying that 5-10 years ago, but today with generative AI, we quite literally look and sound the same. The insight that we once created that opened new doors is no longer cutting through the noise. Now, if you think it's bad today, wait until the economic uncertainty has passed and we're still in the same position or potentially worse. So on Thursday morning, I will be leading a roundtable discussion with sales leaders on these topics with the Institute of Sales Professionals. Join me as we discuss, is your sales organisation fit for the future? Or if you can't make it, drop me a DM. I'd love to continue the discussion with you in the future. Take care.